Hello, my name is Joe, and I want to give you a quick tour of my layout and what some of my plans are for the future. What I've got here is I've got a 5.5 by 9. I've got two independent loops. I've got an outside loop that's running conventional. I've got an inside loop with a couple of spurs, a couple of switches over there, and basically, a couple of switches behind the control tower, which, comes around this side here. Depending on how I throw the switches, I can come around this route or this route here. A couple of spurs, spur back there, operating track sections here. Now, I don't really want to get into, the layout too much right now because my control panel over there. Because I want to explain what my plans are here. Now, about 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, it was right around the holidays, before the holidays, I met a guy at a hobby store. And I had seen him before, and he was a younger guy, and he was just starting to get into the hobby. And he had a couple of MTH sets. And he was really grasping to understand how to do things and everything like that. So he had asked me, he said, would you mind coming over and helping me out? Now, he was a cabinet maker, okay? So he knew how to do, the bench work. That wasn't a problem. But he was, looking in the internet, reading books about wiring and track and, all that stuff. So, he asked me, would you mind coming over and maybe giving me a hand on, setting it up? And he goes, I'm using, MTH products. And I said, well, yeah, no problem. I don't mind doing that. Any guy that's into that stuff wouldn't mind doing that. So he said, yeah, come on over. We'll have a couple of beers and we'll order a pizza. And I said, well, work on a track plan and stuff like that. So what I did was I took my laptop with me because on my laptop I have the MTH track planning software through what's called Railroad Tracks. So we designed a layout. He's got, I think, 5 switches on it, and we worked up a track plan. And now you have to remember, I wasn't real familiar. I haven't used MTH products that much. Okay, I have them now because of what happened over there at his place. Anyway, once we started setting everything up, we put down the Woodland Scenics grass mat, and we set up his track, and we used the real track. And I had never really worked with it that much, but I really liked working with it. What I liked about it is, everything was on top. Unlike, if you can see here, unlike the fast track switches, now this is a manual switch here, but all the wiring and everything is underneath, okay? And, that's fine, you know what I mean? But with the MTH stuff, the wiring and everything is right here, the motor comes out, you can switch sides and everything like that. Kind of nice, I mean, these are great switches too, okay? Don't get me wrong. But, so anyway, we set the whole thing up, and I realized after looking at his stuff that he had Proto 2 engines. He had a Santa Fe set, and he had a Pennsylvania steamer set, which was Proto 2 also. And I explained to him all about DCS and everything. We went on the internet, and I showed him all this stuff about DCS and everything like that. I showed him about landscaping, and I said, I don't know if it's something you want to get into. And he thought about it. A couple of weeks later, he actually found a DCS system on eBay. Okay, and we hooked all that up, and I got to tell you, I was really, really impressed with the DCS system and how smooth and reliable the engine work was. And what he did also is, what I actually picked it up for him, was an AIU. So we hooked up an AIU, and he was able to throw all his switches and everything. Now, we're both learning this together, I just knew a little bit more about it than he did. So, I decided I wanted to switch to MTH products. Now, I'm not knocking Lionel. They make, at the time, I was running the Legacy system. I had a Legacy engine, okay, and I liked it. It was great stuff, but I really liked the MTH stuff. Personally, to me, I just thought the stuff was a little bit more easy to work with, a little bit more easy to run. Now, as far as programming switches and all that's not any difficult or easier than the Lionel stuff. But you don't need as many components. So anyway, we hooked his up. He's learning how to use it, and he really likes it. And he has, like I say, he has the 2 engines. and I think we put in a reversing loop. We connected to 2 loops. We added a couple of 2 power supplies, and I got to tell you, it went together really easy. I like working with the RealTracs. Now, after all this happened a couple months back, like I said, I decided I wanted to switch to the MTH stuff. So as you can see right now, I'm running Fast Track, right? But that engine right over there, that Mohawk, New York Central Mohawk right there, and I don't know if you can see it back there, there's a little Pennsylvania switcher back there. And I've got this locomotive right here. These are all MTH Proto 2s. I sold my Lionel stuff and picked up those engines. I could not find a DCS system anywhere. Now, I'm not one to shop on eBay or shop online. I like to go to the stores and get the stuff. Now, I could not find a DCS system anywhere. So what I decided to do was, I went with the DCS Commander for right now. Now, I really like this thing. It's not nearly as versatile as the full DCS system, but, you know, it's got all the bells and whistles, but it doesn't do quite as much. This is for that outside loop where I have this passenger train running. It has a lot of stuff. It does a lot of things. Throttle, bell, whistle, DCS. It'll run conventional stuff too. But you can't hook up a TIU. You can't hook up an AIU to it or anything like that. So I decided to go with this for now. Now, if something happens and I can't get my hands or can't afford the regular DCS system, let's say for another year, I wouldn't have a problem running everything off of this for a while. As far as the layout goes, I went ahead and I designed a track plan with 3 loops and a reversing loop, a couple of spurs, all using the RealTracs. And I started picking up some of it. Right now, all I've got is a couple of operating track sections. And I think I need one more. But my local hobby shop had them, so I grabbed them while he had them. And since the RealTrac is 31-inch curves, as opposed to the Fast Track, which is 36-inch curves, okay, I'm going to be able to get a lot more out of my 5x9, okay, my 5.5x9 layout here. If I go at RealTracs, like I said, I'm going to have 3 loops with a reversing loop, all connected, and I'm going to power each loop separately using 100-watt, even 90 or 100-watt transformers. I don't know exactly how I'm going to power it yet. I have plenty of power to do whatever I need to do, but I'm going to elevate the back end of the outer loop, and I think I'm going to put one of those MTH bridges on the back end. I'm just going to elevate it about 4 inches, maybe using the Woodland Scenics inclines and things like that. But this is what I got now, and if I kept on going with this, I'd be real happy, okay? I started landscaping, as you can see, but I put all this stuff on hold right now. And over the course of the last few months, I either sold or traded away my Lionel engines, and I went with MTH. I also had the Legacy system, which I traded away for this, for the Commander, because I couldn't find the DCS system. Now, what I plan on doing is I'm going to try and video all of this stuff here. Try to make like a video diary of everything as I go along. But basically, the first thing I'm going to do is obviously all this stuff has to be stripped off. You know what I mean? I got to take all this stuff off, okay? And I'm going to put on a layer of the foam insulation, either 1 inch thick, I'm thinking, of the blue or the pink stuff. I'm going to work on that. Because when I was designing this bench work, I made one fatal error. I didn't put in a hatch. Okay? So I can't access the back of the layout easily. I mean, I can get back there if I have to, but I can't get back there very easily. Putting in a hatch might be something I might decide to do when I, redesign it and everything like that. But I'm recording this video on May 3rd, and hopefully by the end of the year or by the holidays, I'll have the MTH track on with the DCS system, and I'm in no hurry, but that's what I plan on doing. So I wanted to get a log of what this layout looks like now and what it's going to look like in the future, and I'm going to keep all my operating accessories and all that stuff. But thanks for watching, and I'll be sure to post some more videos soon. Thanks.